This is Laura. She founded Bravolution, which I understand Bravolution helps us find the perfect sports bra for our sport and our body. Can you tell us a little bit more about Bravolution and what it is?
Sure. So let me tell you about how Bravolution came to be. I for 10 years, I was their sports bra innovation director, and I wanted to, this was really my passion, like to try to help women find the best bra, and especially larger busted women, which I felt like there's just not a lot of options out in the market. And I really felt like this was my calling, and I realized for me to be able to affect a lot of lives and be able to get information out there, I needed to do my own thing. So I resigned from Nike and I started this website. It's also also the name of my consulting practice, so I consult with major brands to help them with their sports bras. But I started this site called Bravolution, and my intent in starting it was to provide all of the information that I know brands know, but that consumers don't know. So, for example, like how to tell if a bra is supportive or not. Like I just met woman after woman who said to me, I don't know how to tell if this is a good bra or not. Like I have no idea what are the features I need to look for, what kind of fabric do I need to look for. People who are in the industry know this like the back of their hand, but that information isn't readily out there. So I wanted to provide a lot of information, a lot of education, and then also provide these sports bra reviews that had high-speed videos, and so slow motion videos, and showed bras fit on multiple sizes, so that people could see, because those videos that in slow motion that really show you how a bra is performing, manufacturers don't share those videos. And so I wanted to be like kind of a voice of truth out there for people to come and get unbiased, objective reviews. So that's why I started Bravolution.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like sports bras are one of those things where we probably don't think about how much information and like technology is behind them. We're just looking for a cute sports bra. But there really is a lot of information and balance there. So that's amazing that you're bringing a lot of like insider industry knowledge, and it sounds like you're trying to help the industry, but also help individual consumers.
That's exactly right. So I'm trying to get it on both sides of the equation. So on the one hand, going out to brands brands have huge platforms and they can sell millions and millions of products. So if you have that kind of reach, you should be producing the best products you possibly can. So to help on that side, but then to also help consumers as well, because there isn't a lot of information out there for consumers. And what you said about sports bras, Jessie, is absolutely correct. A sports bra is really a piece of athletic equipment. It's it's the most scientific kind of bra you can purchase. And so if you're purchasing it from a great brand, they've put a lot of work into the science of it. They've hired PhDs, they've worked with biomechanists, they've worked with, all kinds of different people. They've done extensive wear testing. None of that happens in the regular lingerie industry. So you want to put as much time and effort into finding the right sports bra as you do the right running shoe, because they're equally as important. Yeah,
well, and if anything, I would say sports bras probably get more miles put on them than shoes. At least as a runner, like track the number of miles that I'm putting on my shoes. And I know sports bras wear out over time, but it's not like none of the apps yet have like a track the mileage on your sports bra feature. So maybe Strava should take note. I don't know. So I'm curious. I know you said sports bras and like informing consumers about them and creating amazing sports bras is your passion. How did you get interested in that in the first place?
It's a really interesting story, because I actually, my major was in medical anthropology. So I went to Stanford, I majored in medical anthropology. I thought I was going to go into a science field. And then my senior year, I decided to go into strategy consulting and became like a business person. And then I thought, you know what, this isn't really my passion. I'm really into apparel design. I've been designing clothes since I was a young girl. So then I went back to school for apparel design. I studied apparel design for a while. And then I got hired at Nike into their innovation department. So I worked on, I did a lot of patents for them. And I really like that. I like that space of being in innovation, because it's a little bit left brain, a little bit right brain. Mm-hmm. And I just work with a lot of engineers and scientists, and I really like that. And then we had a sports bra project come on, and I just felt like it was like a light bulb went off. Like, oh my gosh, if I've been looking for my thing and this is my thing, I just know it is, because I would sit in all these focus groups with women who would complain about how they couldn't run due to pain from their sports bra. And I actually have this history where I had a very rare condition in my 30s called RSD, and it's a rare condition. And for me, I wasn't able to walk for 2 years as a result of this condition. And then for like 10 years after that, I could walk. I mean, I regained my ability to walk, but it took like a decade for me to get back to normal functioning. And
wow.
I mean, you know, I tell people like it's the best thing that ever happened to me because it gave me such an appreciation for movement and for, you know, all the little gifts that we have in our lives every day that we take for granted, you know, and movement being one of those. But I felt that pain. Like I know what it's like to have a part of your body prevent you from being able to be active. And I would sit in these focus groups and I would hear these women complaining that they couldn't be active because of the size of their breasts, or they couldn't run because of the size of their breasts. And I thought, like, this is crazy. Like not being able to run because you have an issue with your legs, like that's one thing. That was my issue. But not being able to run because your breasts are too big, like that's a solvable problem. Like why has the industry solved this problem yet? That's ridiculous. So I really felt like fired up and inspired that this was my thing and this is what I wanted to get after. And so I worked on this project at Nike for about a year, and then my management team decided to sponsor me to go to England, to the like only school on the planet essentially where you can get a master's degree in lingerie design. And they sponsored me to go and get this master's degree in design, and we custom designed the degree, so it was actually about sports bras and not lingerie bras. So we brought into the degree like the sports bra design, the sports bra pattern making, the sports bra biomechanics, the science part of it. And so for a year, I was able to study in England and get this amazing sports bra education. And the whole point of my thesis was to go and like examine all of the sports bras on the market, take them all apart, like figure out why they were working or why they weren't working, what was the good, what was the bad, what was the ugly, and then figure out like a formula for coming up with better bras. So so that was how I got started in it, and it's been my thing ever since. I've never looked back. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't think I would guess that not very much of the population knows that one can get a master's degree in that area. But it definitely speaks to how much knowledge there is to be gained, or like how much there is to be studied. And therefore like how much knowledge you have that you can help the industry and consumers with. I think that's really interesting.
The only person in North America who has that degree, like who has a master's degree in lingerie design. No one else in North America even has a degree.
That's really cool.
Girl studied who has like a master's in sports bras. So it's a very niche thing, but it's my thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems perfect. Like it's your calling and you also have the knowledge, and I think that's amazing. I think that's a whole world that people don't even know about. So I love that you have a master's degree in sports bras. That's amazing. So I know I was going to ask you about your educational background, but I feel like we talked about that a little bit. Yes. And as Teresa said, sports bras haven't been around that long. It's really kind of shocking how short that period of time has been. So yeah, we need you. We need your help.
Yeah, it's only been around since the late 70s, and you have to know, like the very first sports bra was designed by women, which is amazing. But ever since then, it's been taken over by a lot of men's athletic wear companies, and so it's just you don't get the same. I mean, there are a couple of companies that I feel like do a pretty good job, but you just don't get the same level of attention that you really should. And I think there's so much opportunity for improvement in sports bras. And I feel like I moved the needle a little bit, but there's still so much more runway for things that could change.
Yeah, sure. Well, I feel like there's this idea that the sports market, as far as even sports clothing goes, is, I don't know, people talk about running as being a male-dominated industry, but at any given half marathon, there's almost always more women than men there. So like women have these huge participation numbers in running and in other sports. So I feel like come on, help, like we like shopping, generally speaking, like there's a lot of money to be made. So why not focus on what women need in athletic wear, and particularly in sports bras? I think it really behooves sportswear companies to focus on that a little bit. Because we're out here and we're looking for cute sports bras, but we also need function. not just cute.
Right. There are companies who I think sometimes they go first for the fashion and they think about the function after. And what I tell people that I consult with is that really you're looking for a trifecta of three things. You're looking for a trifecta of function, so support, comfort, and then also beauty. And I don't think anyone has nailed that complete, getting it right on all three in one bra. I still don't think anyone's really nailed that. But you have to start with function, and very close second is comfort, right? Like they've got to be almost neck and neck. And if you prioritize aesthetics over that, then especially for running, you're producing a bra that isn't doing what it's intended for. I mean, it has to work. I mean, that's the very basic thing is that it has to be supportive and it has to feel like something someone wants to wear on a marathon or a half marathon, and it's not going to injure them or chafe them. So that's hugely important. But on the other side, people can take it all the way to the other extreme where they make it entirely about function and they don't put any beauty in it at all. So you've got the extremes there. But I think that more and more manufacturers are getting to the point where they understand, okay, we've got to nail the function first and foremost, but we can make it beautiful too. So they're getting there. Yeah.
I feel like especially I've seen in the sports bras for larger cup sizes, they're kind of forced, it seems, you tell me if I'm wrong because I'm not an expert, it seems like they're kind of forced into focusing on the function first and foremost, and they haven't, like a lot of them aren't as aesthetically beautiful, just because they're like working on the technology of like keeping everything secure and comfortable. So I hope that like we can start to merge those, especially for larger cup sizes. I feel like the options are a little more limited for larger cup sizes.
Yeah, they absolutely are. You're totally right about that. And I think that manufacturers are getting a little bit better about it, but there's still, and it is, from like an engineering and physics standpoint, it's a much more difficult problem to solve for sure, because as you have more mass and, more weight in the breast, then you're going to have a lot more forces acting on the breast, as somebody is running. So it's a more difficult problem to solve. It's not impossible. And I think that market has been ignored for so long, and now I'm finally starting to see a lot of brands recognize that they need to look at solutions for all runners of all sizes, because runners do come in all sizes. And for the longest time, the sports bra industry and really the athletic industry, I think in general, just focused on people of a certain size, like making this assumption that if you're in this size range, you're athletic and you're active, and if you're not, you're not, which is complete baloney, honestly.
Yeah.
I swear on this or not, but I was going to say something else. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But they're finally starting to come around and see that they need to provide more options to everybody, and they're only going to expand their market by doing that. So I'm seeing there's still a long way to go, but I do see more options that available in the market, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great. We're getting some like good comments here about like if only we could, like, I don't know why we don't fit sports bras the way we do running shoes, because you go into a running store and they ask you a bunch of questions. Like a specialty running store will ask you several questions, like your weekly mileage and watch you run, and like there's none of that for sports bras. But I feel like that's something that's like part of your mission, is like really helping people find the sports bra that is fitted to them and is not just a generic sports bra. I know you have something called sister sizing, and there's a resource for that on your website. Can you tell us more about what sister sizing is?
Sure. So sister sizing is the number one thing that most women do not understand about bra sizing. And if you've never heard about sister sizing and you don't understand it, you're going to be blown away by what I'm about to tell you, and you're going to think what I'm telling you isn't true, but it is. So basically what I tell, like, there are a bunch of sizes in bra sizing that sound totally different that actually fit your breast exactly the same. So for example, a 38A, 36B, 34C, and 32D all fit the same size breast. Like, this usually blows people away. Like, you've been told that A cups are small and D cups are large, where in actuality, some A cups are smaller than Ds, some A cups are the same size as Ds, and some A cups are actually larger than Ds. And it's based on this whole antiquated history of how bra sizing originated. But so a lot of, you go in, you're going in to buy a bra, and you make the logical assumption that bras are sized like every other type of clothing. Like if you're in a size 6 jean, you know that if you put on the size 6 and it fits you, the 8 is going to be too big and the small is going to be or the 4 is going to be too small, and you know that. So you don't go and look for another size because you know there's just those sizes and either you fit it or you don't. And the reason so many women, I'm sure you've heard the statistics, 80% of women are wearing the wrong bra size. And that statistic, I mean, there are a lot of things to say about that statistic, but when you say, people say that, it's because they went into the store, they found a bra that fit their breasts, and they didn't realize there were 4 other sizes that sound totally different that also would have fit their breasts. And the only difference in those sizes is like how long or short the underband is. So I talk about this a little bit in my TED Talk, and I also have videos about it on my website, and also on my website you can download like that talks about it. So it's a lot to like get into and explain, but it's so important that you are educated about sister sizing before you do any bra shopping at all, because what's going on right now is that women aren't educated about how bras are sized. So they do exactly what I just told you. They find one that fits their breast and they think that's the only one that will fit them, and then they walk out with that. Or you do go to be sized and you give all of the power to the fitter. Like you basically say, I know nothing about bras, tell me what my size is. Whereas it's much better to go into to a professional fitting knowing how bras are sized, so that when a fitter says to you, hey, you're this size, you can challenge them and you can say, well, I know that there are sister sizes, so why are you sure that this one is my size? There's also like how women are measured for bras. So this is also another antiquated way of getting somebody their bra size. You've been told your whole life that you have to put a measuring tape around your rib cage and a measuring tape around your breast, and this is how you figure out what your size is. And it's way more complicated than that, because like think about, so for the rib cage, yeah, you can take a rib cage measurement and it tells you what your rib cage size is, great. But when you think about how bras are sized, so you know, the bands are stretchy, right? And they have 3 hooks on them. So if you had like a belt for your jeans, imagine the belt for your jeans was stretchy and had hooks in it, and had holes in it. How many belts would fit you in that case? A lot of belts would fit you. And that's what happens with underbands, is that like if you like a 32 on the tightest hook is the same thing as a 30 on the loosest hook. They're the same. So it just depends on what you prefer. Like, do you prefer to be like a slightly looser on the tightest hook in the 32, or you prefer to be tighter on the, like, so there's a lot of nuance there. And then there's even more nuance in measuring the bust, because, and what I tell people, it's like, you know, telling people like, just dump some flour on your counter, put a measuring tape over it, and you need 12 inches of flour for your cake. Like a malleable, like you're measuring volume. It's a 3-dimensional form, and measuring tapes are for measuring linear point A to point B things. They're not for measuring volumes. You can't measure your flour that way. You can't measure your milk that way. You can't measure anything that's a volume with a measuring tape. And a measuring tape will get you in the ballpark. Like it'll tell you something is bigger or smaller, but you can't take a measurement and say that exact measurement is you know, correlates exactly to a size. It gets you in the ballpark, but ultimately what you have to do is you have to try on a bunch of bras to figure out what your size is. And every manufacturer is a little different, and even within that manufacturer, their bras are sized a little bit different. So in one brand, you could be a 32, you know, 32C in one bra. You could be a 36B in another one of their bras. In a different manufacturer, you could be a totally different sister size. So you can know approximately what your size is. Like, you know, I can be like, okay, well, for most brands, I'm a 32D. But you also have to take that with a grain of salt and know that if you buy a 32D and if it doesn't fit quite right, it might be that the way they manufactured this bra, okay, maybe I need to go into the sister size and I need to be, you know, a 34C in this one, or I need to be a 30 double D in this one. So you need to have those kinds of insights about bra sizing before you go bra shopping. But for running, you know, so we're talking about the lingerie bras here, but for running, it's super important that you have the right size because you don't want to have any chafing. And if you have like a slight looseness in the bra, you're going to have those micro adjustments that, you know, those shifting that causes chafing. And so you really want to know what your size is. And then you want to go and you want to try the bra on. You want to be able to say, you know what, I might need the sister size in this one because for whatever reason, this particular bra is fitting me too tight or it's a little too loose on it. So maybe the cup is fitting right. I just need to go up in the band. But I do, you know, explain it in my my website and my TED Talk and all of that too.
Yeah, that's great. That sounds like a really good resource for people to look at. It sounds to me like a big part of it is just taking some of, like, knowing that we don't just have to follow sizing blindly, but that we should, you know, I don't know, I guess go into bra shopping with a little more agency and know that there's not like one, I don't know, that there's discrepancies in the sizing. So to really like take a moment to figure out what fits right for us and not just be like, well, this is my size, so this is my size, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it like you think of any other type of clothing. Are you the same jean size in every brand of jeans? No. Like you actually have to try, even within a brand, like, you know, maybe the skinny jeans, you need a slightly different size than you do in the boot cut. Like it's the same thing with bras. Like, so don't be so attached to what your size is, and know that, like, I think when also there's so much emotion attached to a cup size as well about being an A or being a D. And then as soon as you realize are both an A and a D, depending on how big the underband is, like it gives you a little bit more like, like that, not much. It really doesn't.
Yeah, no, that sounds really helpful. Just to like let go of the rules that you think you have to follow on sizing a little bit. Yeah, that alone seems like a super valuable piece of information for people to walk away with for the next time that they're bra shopping or sports bra shopping. It really goes for all clothing, because we all know, like, I literally have everything from a size small to an extra large in my closet right now, and they fit as far as shirts go. So, yeah.
Yeah. Clothing industry. That's a whole nother ball of wax to get into.
Right. Yeah. We won't go there today. But I know we were also going to do somewhat of a virtual fitting this morning with me as the model. So I have my favorite sports bra on underneath. So I'm going to take my shirt off so everyone can see the sports bra. So this is the, I'll back up here in a second, but my kind of go-to favorite sports bra is the Energy bra from Lululemon. I think it's called the Energy bra. So I don't know how much you need to see to like.
I knew, just seeing this part of it, I knew it was the Energy bra.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's a popular bra. So I don't know what you need to see on me.
Well, so before we start, I'm going to just talk in general what you should look for. Okay.
I'm going to turn my light on while you're doing that.
So the very first thing you want to look at is your shape. So do you have narrow or sloping shoulders? And if you do, how are the straps fitting on your shoulders? Like you have slightly sloping shoulders. They're not narrow, but they're slightly sloping. So what I'm seeing here is this actually fits you in a really good place. It's not so close to the end of your shoulders that it's going to fall off. It's not so high on the fleshy part of your neck that it's going to cause you discomfort. So this actually fits you quite well. The other thing you can do to figure out, like, if you're not sure if it's too close or too far to the end of your shoulders, is you can take your hand and then these 4 fingers and just, you know, put your pinky right at the end of your shoulder. Mm-hmm. Your index finger is covering or partially covering the strap is probably going to fall off. So that's a quick tip for, like, is the strap going to fall off or not? Yours, like, and I know that the Energy bra has a cross strappy back, so of course it's not going to fall off. But especially if you have a straight strap bra, that's something that you want to look for. So that's the first thing I'm looking at, and that looks great on you. So that's good. Okay, good start. Yeah, the next thing I want to look at is how the cups are fitting you. So generally, if cups aren't fitting, they're too small, large. These cups are fitting you just right. Now you have this little wrinkle in the front here of the bra. I just know that that's the Energy bra. It does that on everybody. So that's just how the bra fits. It's not an indication in this particular bra that the cup is too big. The cup is actually fitting you just right. And the reason that I know that is I'm not seeing any cleavage on top. If I was seeing cleavage, if I was seeing some of your bust tissue come out, it would either A, not be a good bra for running, or B, the cup size would be too small for you. And then turn to the side a little bit for me, Jessie. Yeah, there you go, right there. Yeah, and then on the side here, and can you just lift up your arm a little bit? This arm? Yep. Okay, good. So also, I'm not seeing any breast tissue coming out here either at the underarm, so that's also a really good sign. Okay. So we've checked off cups, great. We've checked off straps, great. Now let's take a look at the back. So turn around for me. Yeah. So again, I can see that these straps are fitting you in a really good place. They're not digging into your shoulder blades or anything like that. The next thing I want to know is the underband the right tightness? So what I want you to do is I want you to, like, reach around and pull out your underband for me. How far can you pull it out?
Here, maybe you can see on the side.
Okay.
I mean, pretty far.
Yeah, you can pull it out pretty far. So, but how does it feel to you? Does it feel like it's snug enough? Like you don't want it any snugger than that?
Yeah, I feel like it's snug enough. I know for me in particular, since I do have more, I'm not saying this is a bad way, but since I do have more fat on my torso, I'm self-conscious about really tight fitting bands because then I get like reverse muffin top and I just don't like how it looks. So I personally, just for like being self-conscious, don't really favor a super tight band, but I don't know what I'm maybe giving up in performance by doing that.
So what I tell people, a few things is, so when you have a bra that goes over the head like this one, it doesn't have a closure. You're going to have more stretch in the underband because the underband has to have enough stretch to get past your shoulders. So it's naturally going to have a lot more stretch than a bra that has a closure, or at least it should. There are some bras with closures that stretch way too much, but mostly if a bra has a closure, it's not going to stretch as much. But real number one thing is, do you feel comfortable in the bra? And what I tell people is if you're thinking about the bra or you're thinking about your breasts, it's the wrong bra. So if you're thinking about your breast means you're experiencing breast pain or there's something going on, it's the wrong bra. It's not supporting you enough. If you're thinking about the bra because like you're feeling a little irritation or like you're constantly fiddling with it as you're using it, it's also the wrong bra. So if neither of those things are happening to you in this bra and you're a runner, then it's fine. It's totally fine for you. If you're happy in it, it's not causing you chafing, you like wearing it, great. If on the other hand, you were telling me, yeah, you know, like sometimes I do get a little bit of like chafing or irritation, you know, from this bra, then I would say, well, then you might want to consider a bra that has a back closure that has a little bit less stretch in the band, and then finding one where maybe you could find a happy medium where it's tight enough that it's not going to shift, but it's not so tight that it's giving you, like you said, that reverse muffin top. So this bra on you, if you're, like I said, if it's not causing you any discomfort, it's actually fitting you quite well. The only thing I can see is that the band is stretching out quite a bit, but you're telling me that you like it and it's working for you, then I'm good. When I tell, like the acronym that I give most people to look for a sports bra, if they're just going out, you know, shopping on their own, I call it the ABCCs of sports bra. So like I'll tell them to look for adjustability. Like this bra isn't adjustable, but it happens to fit you fine. So if you have a non-adjustable bra that's fitting you fine, that's fine. But if you're going out, I'll say like look for adjustability if you can only settle on one thing, because with a running bra, you want it to fit you like it was made for you, like it was custom made for you. You're going to get the best performance and the least it will be less likely to chafe you if that's the case. So you want to look for those adjustable straps. You also want to look for an adjustable underband for the same reason. Like it'll also be most likely to fit you like it was made for you. But again, if you have one that goes over the head, it does have a little bit more stretch, but it's fine on you. That's fine too. So the B, I'll say is for bra sized. Again, because it's more likely to fit you like it was made for you if it's bra sized. It's just you know, like the Energy bras they sell it in Lululemon sizing, which is 2 to 12. It's also like alpha sizing, like, you know, small. Alpha means like it has a letter like SML. So Mars is the same way. Like there are less sizes, so it has to fit more people in that one size. Whereas when a bra is bra size, they sell it in like 25 or 30 different sizes. So you know that each size is a little bit more custom than a size that is made to fit maybe a few different sizes. C is for cups, and what I tell people to look for is as little stretch as possible in the cups. So I did bring like just a few bras here to just show you what I'm talking about. So like there's a bra here, like if you pull it and it doesn't stretch, that's a bra that has a stretch in the cup, so that's a good thing to look for. You're also looking for the shape of the cup. So a flat shape like the Energy bra you have on, a compressive bra is a really good shape because it's gonna, you know, hold things down. But if you do want a little bit of shape, I tell people to look for a dome and not a cone. So like you're looking for like this, you know, shallow curve. Like the more the cup looks like this, or the more it looks like a lingerie bra, the more your breasts are going to move because they're more projected. The second C is cleavage. So like you don't have any cleavage, so that's good. If showing cleavage, any breast tissue that's exposed is going to move. So that's just one way to think about it. If you can see it, it's going to move. And then the final S is for stretch. So again, like the cups, I said, you want to look for as little stretch as possible in the cups, and then also in the front straps. So like in this bra, the strap, you pull it. I'm pulling pretty hard. It's not going very far. It's not stretching very far. But the back straps are super stretchy. And it's okay if the back has a lot of stretch. The front straps, the front strap's having no stretch, you're going to have less movement. So the bra that you're wearing actually does have quite stretch, but I know that a lot of people wear the energy bra for running. And again, that's where you have to like, there's like the, you know, the advice of like what to look for if you're looking for like the holy grail of sports bras and you don't want any movement at all. And like, you just love that lockdown, no movement feeling. And then there's what works for you. And if it works for you, then it's fine. Like that's, if it's, like I said, you're not thinking about your breasts, you're not thinking about the bra, it's the right bra.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of us probably have bras that work well for us, but there might be bras that work better for us, and we just didn't know what to look for. Like, I love this bra, but at the end of a long run, I get chafing right here pretty regularly. So, you know, I love this bra. It's not bad. It works well for me, but like, I feel like with the information that you have, maybe I just have a little more information the next time I'm looking for a bra and kind of like have some great pointers from you of what to look for. I feel like as much as a sports bra is about what feels good, having a little bit of technical information probably does go a long way.
What I'll tell you about the energy bra is that, so those straps in the front are quite stretchy in that bra. So it's going, as you're running, you're not realizing it, but it's causing that those micro adjustments and micro movements are happening right there at the neckline because of that. So if you had a bra that had a little bit more lockout here, you might be experiencing that less. So that's one thing. But the other great tip I can give you is to use a slow-mo feature on your iPhone or your, you know, whatever phone you have. If it has a slow-mo video feature, like set up the camera, put it on slow-mo, and just run in front of it. Like not even for very long, for like 3 seconds. Like just do like a really intense run in place. And then go back and watch it, and you'll be so surprised at how much movement you see. And then put on a few different sports bras that you have, and then compare them and see like the different movements that you see when you do that. It really is quite telling of like how much support our bra is actually giving you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and that's something most of us should have access to. This is a really good question from Teresa. She's asking, would an older bra cause more chafing, like if it's more stretchy and worn out?
It would, because the more it stretches. So the more the bra stretches, the more the breast will move, and the more the bra stretches, the more it's going to move on you. So yes, an older bra is going to cause more chafing for that reason.
Yeah, I think that's something, when I first started running, I never considered that my sports bras would wear out, and maybe not in a super obvious way, but just like over time, you know, lose more of their like integrity, I guess, and get more and more stretchy, and you don't even realize it's happening. I just never thought I would have to rotate out sports bras because of performance and not because I just got sick of the way that they looked. So, yeah.
The more spandex content a bra has, usually the better it performs, because it's like the difference between like Spanx and an Ace bandage. Like Spanx are really expensive because they have tons of spandex in it, which is why you get that high power, and usually the more powerful the fabric is, the more expensive it is. But then spandex also breaks down really easily, especially in a dryer, it breaks down, which is why you should like hang dry your sports bras if you can. And it's like when you have a shoe you've been running in for a long time. Like when you first buy it, you really feel the support, and after you wear it for a while, it's comfortable. But it's not until you buy a new shoe that you realize how much support you actually lost in that original shoe. Do you know what I'm talking? And bras are the same. Like you'll be wearing it and you don't really realize that it's not supporting you as well as it once did until you buy a new bra and you're like, oh wow, this is like, I'm feeling a lot more supported now. It's about the spandex breaking down, and it just does over time. It's the nature of the fiber.
Yeah, no, that's really good to know. I think that's just good information for everyone to have. Like, your bras aren't going to last forever, and that's okay. But you can, I feel like also there's just things you can, like not putting them in the dryer will help them last a lot longer from what I understand.
Right, not putting them in the dryer. I personally, I know that they say you should hand wash them. I just don't think that's realistic. I don't have time for that personally. So I put them in like a lingerie bag, and then I knot the bag so that even in the bag it's not moving that much, and then I just, you know, wash it in cold. But I do hang it to dry. Don't use any fabric softeners with your sports bras because the fabric softener prevents the fabric from wicking. So all of the wicking properties in the fabric go away when you use fabric softener. So that's another thing that you want to avoid with your sports bras.
Gotcha. And Vanessa was asking about water temp. Do you recommend, sorry, we weren't planning on talking about sports bra care, but everyone needs to know. Do you normally do cold water? What do you recommend?
I do normally do cold water, but if I'm feeling like my bra is feeling a little stinky, then I might, I might up it to up it to warm. I just try to I try to rotate them out really frequently and then use cold water just again to maintain the longevity of the bra. There's this, this blanket rule that they'll say like you should be throwing out your sports bra shouldn't have a birthday and you should throw it out after a year. And if I'm making a blanket statement, I'll also echo that rule that your bra shouldn't last more than a year. But the thing is, it's really individual. If you have a ton of bras in your rotation and you're not wearing your bra that often, it can actually last a lot longer than a year. It's just, you want to just pay attention to how often do I wear this? How often do I wash this? Do I feel like the spandex is just, not the same as it once was? And if you're really organized, like you could film yourself slow-mo right when you buy it, and then you could film it again a year later, and you could look at yourself and see is the support any different. So that's another thing that you can do.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'll be very impressed if anyone is that organized in their life.
I'd be the only person that's filming everything all the time because I'm unheard about it. If you are short, that you could do.
Oh yeah, me too, Vanessa. I've had a lot of sports bras who have had probably multiple birthdays with me. But yeah, well, let's start to wrap this up though. I feel like that you have a wealth of information. I hope people learned something just on our Instagram live today, but if they want to find out more, what resources do they have, or can they go to your website? What resources can you point them in the direction of?
Yeah, so my website, Bravolution.com, that you can download the free guide there that I have. I've got a lot of information, videos about fitting, and also some reviews on there as well. And like I said, I have a TED Talk as well. So if you just search my name on the TED site, my TED Talk will come up, and I talk about, that one's not specifically about sports bras. It's more just about bras in general, but I think you'll find it really illuminating just how crazy the bra world is and bra history. And this, gosh, it's just, that's why the name of my company is Bravolution, because I just feel like bras are ripe for revolution, and there's a lot of improvements that could be made. But if you want to educate yourself a little bit more about bras, you could watch that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I know I haven't watched it yet, so I'll definitely be looking it up. But in the meantime, everyone, if you don't already follow Bravolution, go ahead and follow Bravolution to stay in touch with her and check out her website. And yes, I do. For those of you that don't know, Laura was planning on coming down to Austin for one of our runs this summer and do in-person fittings, and we were really excited for it. And then, COVID had a different plan. Yeah. But hopefully someday we can get you down here in the future.
Sure, we'll make it happen.
Yes, I hope so. But anyway, well, I will let you go though. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. I found it really helpful for myself, so hopefully everyone else found it helpful as well.
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise. Take care.